environmentally sustainable and economically sustainable.
That will most likely have an impact on surgeries. Good morning and welcome to your Ignite News for Thursday, October 10th. I'm Scott Summerhays.
And I'm Alicia Gallant. Here's what's making news.
Canadian author Alice Munro has been awarded the 110th Nobel Prize for Literature. She is the first Canadian-based writer to win the honor and the 13th woman. Munro has been hailed as one of the world's greatest living writers of short stories and last published a collection in 2012. Munro has earned 3 Trillium Book Awards, the Man Booker International Prize, and 3 Governor General's Literary Awards, among others. The award money for literature fluctuates, but in 2012, the honor came with a monetary prize of $1.3 million.
Rogers customers experienced an inconvenient service outage last night, but according to Rogers, the issues are resolved. Customers all across Ontario and throughout Canada took to social media to express their frustrations, as many of them could not send texts, SMS messages, or use voice service. Rogers has apologized but has not revealed the cause of the loss of service. Customers affected will receive a 1-day credit to make up for the inconvenience. Fido and Chatter customers experienced the same problems. So, with the Rogers outage last night, we found out if and how Mohawk students were affected.
It didn't really affect me any because I'm with Bell, but all my friends are basically with Rogers and all their like little companies, so like Speak Out and stuff like that, and they couldn't get a hold of anybody and they couldn't talk to parents, and the only way that they could get through to people was through Facebook.
And I tried 3-4 times, didn't work. Then it got back on, called, then it went back off again. It just affected me and everyone at Rogers.
6 o'clock last night, and then I got home at 8. I went on Facebook, and apparently others had been affected, and it really affected them negatively.
I personally don't have Rogers myself, so it didn't actually affect me, but I have quite a few friends that are on the Rogers network that were very disappointed with the downage for a bit yesterday.
Personally, I had a couple messages that didn't go through, but I didn't even know it was down, so it was just a little frustrating. You know, you keep trying to resend something and there's no explanation. It's just kind of like error messages. So.
A man and his daughter are facing fraud and theft charges concerning a winning Lotto 649 ticket worth $7 million. Police were tipped by the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation after a woman tried to cash in a winning ticket as her own when in fact it was actually a group play ticket for 11 others. The father and daughter from Niagara Falls have been charged with fraud and theft over $5,000.
Mohawk's Justice and Health and Wellness programs are enjoying their new space at the Fennel campus. Ignite News reporter Megan Ficciolo caught up with some of the new students to see how they're adapting.
We have some new neighbors on Mohawk's Fennel campus. Both Justice and Health and Wellness programs have moved into the newly renovated C Wing. The programs were previously taught at Mohawk's Brantford Elgin campus, but the building has now been gifted to the Six Nations Polytech School. Majority of Justice and Health and Wellness students live in the greater Hamilton areas and are benefiting from the move.
Yeah, for me it's easier. I just take the city bus in, whereas driving to Brantford is a half-hour drive every day that I need to save money on.
Academic officials say they now have a lot more resources and state-of-the-art classrooms at their disposal. These classes include a courtroom, a use of force area, a health and wellness center with all new equipment, and a tactical house setup for practical scenarios.
Renovations are still underway, but expected to be done within the semester. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Megan Ficciolo.
At McMaster University, researchers are making big advances in the battle against superbugs, laying the groundwork for highly effective antibiotics of the future. Jerry Wright, professor and scientific director at McMaster, says their method of research is the proverbial needle in a haystack. Most antibiotics that are still used to date were discovered in the 1940s and 50s. The new process they are using at McMaster involves applying antibiotics to soil, which then kills the bacteria, and researchers then focus on the naturally occurring antibiotics that remain. So far, the research has been widely successful.
Mohawk is celebrating Aboriginal Awareness Week. Ignite News reporter Kyler Sanderson stopped by this year's powwow and gives us an inside look into the meaning behind the celebration.
students got an up-close look at Aboriginal culture outside the H-Wing.
Okay, well, today's powwow is really part of the Aboriginal Awareness Week this week at Mohawk College. There are approximately 436 self-ID'd Aboriginal students. My guesstimate would be that there's between a third and two-thirds more than that.
Aaron Bell hosted the powwow at Mohawk. His goal was to educate the rest of the student body.
A lot of the post-secondary Aboriginal students have to deal with the stereotype of alcoholism, homelessness. A lot of them don't have a lot of understanding about what Aboriginal people do and who we are. And why we did this today is to introduce them to our culture in a good and open way. We treat our audiences as new learners. So when we use humor, it engages them, and we use association as well with modern day things so they can feel connected to us. If you can make somebody smile, they're going to be waiting for you to make them smile again. So in between those two times when you can make them smile, that's when you can slip in teachings and they don't even know they're being taught.
I thought a lot of people really wanted to be a part of the whole powwow and group because they made you feel that way.
I know that in the last year, social inclusion has been a real big focus for our office, the Aboriginal office, as well as the college in general. And currently we're developing an Indigenous education plan that will make that much more attractive to Aboriginal students from all over this territory.
Powwows like this one are designed to celebrate Aboriginal heritage and dismantle stereotypes. For Ignite News, I'm Kyler Sanderson.
Now let's take a look at what's coming up in the rest of our show for sports, entertainment, and weather.
Be extremely careful when driving into school this morning. It is very foggy outside, as you can see. Stay tuned for your Ignite weather forecast to find out if the fog is here to stay over your long weekend.
Coming up in sports, who would it be, the Pirates or the Cardinals making it on to the MLB playoff action? There were quite a few games in the NHL last night, and we have the latest on the Mohawk Mountaineers varsity soccer teams. That and more coming up in Ignite Sports.
Kanye West's feud with Jimmy Kimmel heated up again last night, and Tom Hanks has received a diabetes diagnosis. Those stories and more coming up on Entertainment.
In Major League Baseball, it looks like the Pirates won't be moving on to the next round. For that and more, we go to Dimitri Pertikaris in sports.
Thanks, Scott. In MLB action, Adam Wainwright and the St. Louis Cardinals are moving on to the NLCS for the third straight year. After getting the better of the Pittsburgh Pirates at home, the Cards started strong with 2 runs in the second inning, and they would go on to add another 3 in the final 3 innings to beat the Pirates 6-1. For Pittsburgh, it was their first postseason appearance since 1992. The Cards now improved to 8-1 when facing postseason elimination over the past 3 years. St. Louis will now play the LA Dodgers in the next round. And over to the NHL, the Calgary Flames opening 3 goals were too much for the Habs to handle as they beat the Montreal Canadiens 3-1. St. Louis got the better of the Blackhawks 3-2 in a thriller, and the LA Kings squeaked by the Senators 4-3 in overtime. Jeff Carter was the overtime hero in that one. And sticking with hockey, a former NHLer is set to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award. At the same time, he's being charged in the hunting death of a Hamilton man. Former Bruin, 58-year-old Stan Jonathan, is being charged with criminal negligence causing death after accidentally shooting Peter Kossid in the back on November 11, 2012. Jonathan is set to win the Dreamcatcher Award for outstanding achievements to enhance First Nation communities. And the Hamilton Bulldogs are gearing up for their season opener tomorrow when they host the St. John's Ice Caps. I recently had the chance to visit the Bulldogs training camp and get the players' thoughts on the upcoming year. The Hamilton Bulldogs training camp is underway, and with the regular season just around the corner, players are looking to make lasting impressions on the Bulldogs coaching staff. There has been no shortage of physical play at training camp, and that's something that Bulldogs defenseman Morgan Ellis encourages.
You got to be a physical team. That's that's the NHL and AHL now, so it makes it a lot tougher to play against. And if we're going to be physical, it's going to be good.
After scoring the fewest amount of goals in the American Hockey League last season and finishing dead last in the overall league standings, players now have an added year of adversity and experience to look back on. Goaltender Dustin Zakarski is one of those returning players to the Bulldogs this season. Tokarski discussed what he expects from himself as the starting netminder.
We got to make a statement this year, in the room, on the ice, and show them ready to potentially take the next step. So I'm here, for the guys to be a leader, go out there and try and steal some games for the guys, and have them believe in me, and try and get the team around me better, distill some confidence in the guys and be a leader.
The Hamilton Bulldogs coaching staff, led by head coach Sylvain Lefebvre, now have the difficult task of deciding who stays with the Bulldogs this season and who goes. For Ignite News, I'm Dimitri Pertikaris. Over to some Mountaineers news. Both the men's and women's soccer teams faced Redeemer College on Monday for their last regular season games of the season. Ignite Sports reporter Teresa Friesen has the details.
Mohawk College's ladies varsity soccer team put on a dominating performance on Monday, shutting out Redeemer College 5-0 in their last regular season game. Team captain Sherry Levitt says the team wanted to focus on ball control and getting the win.
We felt really good about it because we ended up winning and controlling the game, and so that's really awesome for us to go into playoffs after that really well-played game.
Co-head coach Michael Castellani says the team has had many improvements over the season.
Today we finished. In any game that we struggled in, we struggled putting the ball into the opponent's net when it was time to do so. So today we didn't suffer from that. 5-0, and with 3 or 4 more chances that we could have put in, definitely is something that we've been working on. Another aspect of our game that we've been working on is the pressuring the ball and forcing the other team to cough it up. And we did that extremely well today.
The team kicks off their playoff run against Conestoga College this Saturday. Castellani says Monday's win gives the team a big boost going into the playoffs.
I think what we'll end up with is a solid a run through the playoffs to the OCAAs, and we have high expectations. We're hoping to make the Final Four. We're hoping to medal this year, so I don't think those are unreasonable expectations.
Following the ladies' dominating performance, the men took to the field in a must-win game to qualify for the playoffs. Despite a gritty effort, Redeemer came out on top in a 1-1 decision, ending Mohawk's playoff hopes. Men's assistant coach Anthony Gaizis says the team was missing a number of players due to suspensions from last Saturday's game and injuries.
I thought they played well. They gave everything they had, and we're really proud of them.
Defenseman Robert Slosher says the team gave it their all.
I think we dominated the first half, even the second half too. They punched one in, and then we kind of just fell back after that.
Forward Junior Baird scored the team's only goal and says that the team could have played a lot better this season.
From seeing the way we played our best games, we haven't showed up for half the season, and it cost us today.
Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Teresa Friesen.
And that's it for me with your sports. Let's send it over to Chris for your entertainment news.
Thanks, Dimitri. After a bitter Twitter feud in late September, Kanye West made an appearance last night on Jimmy Kimmel Live, but it was soon apparent that he wasn't really there to bury the hatchet. West quickly dispelled the idea that there was a fight as a publicity stunt before launching into an extended rant that covered everything from paparazzi to SpongeBob SquarePants. Kimmel admitted that while many think West is a jerk, Kimmel does not. Rather than calming West down, Kimmel's remark got him ranting for 10 minutes, leaving both the audience and Kimmel visibly uncomfortable. West originally became upset with Kimmel when Kimmel hired a child actor to imitate West and recreate a BBC interview he had done. Tom Hanks has revealed that he has type 2 diabetes. Hanks has had high blood sugar for 20 years, but just recently received the diabetes diagnosis. His doctor suggested a factor may have been his rapid loss and gain of weight for roles in movies like Castaway, Philadelphia, and A League of Their Own. Hanks returns to theaters tomorrow in Captain Phillips. Sasha Disyuk is in the studio for today's Tech Talk, our weekly segment looking at the latest in technology news. Sasha, what's on your plate today?
Hey Chris, today I'm taking a look at FIFA 14, the latest release from EA Sports. Soccer fans here and all over the world have been eagerly awaiting this latest installment. Here's what gamers have to look forward to.
A little game called FIFA 14 was released September 24th and 27th in North America for almost every system imaginable, and is due to come out on the new PS4 and Xbox One as well. Now on the 16th title in the series, and proudly Canadian, made by EA Canada. After so many generations of the game, it has to be hard for EA Canada to come up with anything totally new. So instead of changing a working formula, they have tried to make it the most polished version of FIFA ever. And for the most part, they have succeeded. Especially if you're patient, because they have included a new engine for the upcoming PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions called the Ignite engine, which will improve graphics and gameplay by making the AI much more realistic, and includes the new True Player Motion, which improves the way the players react to their environment. But even in the current generation of systems, they have strived to improve all of these aspects, which is clearly noticeable.
You know, it's great multiplayer online. The career mode's really cool, you know, play with your friends. Yeah, overall, good game.
Mechanics of the game, it has every single team imaginable on it, and overall it's just a really fun game.
They have not only made improvements for gameplay, but they have also made changes to the game modes as well, like multiplayer, making it much easier to find your friends and prove who's the better player online. Or you can now play co-op in your career mode with your friends. The game also has almost every licensed team imagined. With over 60 stadiums, 32 of which are real-world venues, the new FIFA will surely keep you playing for months. I'm Sasha Dizak with Ignite News.
Operatic composer Giuseppe Verdi's bicentenary is being celebrated in Hamilton with the staging of his comic masterpiece, Falstaff. Opera Hamilton opens its 34th season next Saturday with a Theatre Aquarius production of the 120-year-old opus. The production stars local actor John Fanning, making his 15th appearance with Opera Hamilton. Verdi's Falstaff is a musical adaptation of Shakespeare's The Merry Wives of Windsor and Henry V. The space thriller Gravity opened over the weekend to record box office numbers. I was there opening night, ready to be wowed. Here's my review. Sometimes a movie is released that just begs to be witnessed on the big screen. A movie that, if you wait to watch it on your TV, will lose something that's only evident when sprawled across a large canvas. A movie that you brag to others years later about having been fortunate enough to see when it was in the theaters. Gravity is one of those movies. The terrifying and simple plot revolves around a scientist, played by Sandra Bullock, and an astronaut, played by George Clooney, who get stranded in space after their shuttle is destroyed. The terror of being utterly lost and alone has been tackled before in great movies like Open Water and 127 Hours, but that fear is massively elevated with the prospect of being alone in space, with nowhere to go, no way to get back to Earth, and a dwindling oxygen supply. From the very opening shot, which lasts an incredible 17 minutes, Gravity employs revolutionary new technology to create pure weightlessness, and then throws every type of special effect it can at you for 90 minutes. It blends all of them so seamlessly, you'll be trying to figure out how parts of it were done long after the credits have rolled. The sheer size and scope of space is so unfathomable, no movie has ever truly captured it. Some films, like 2001: A Space Odyssey, have come very close, but none achieved what Gravity does. When you're watching it, you feel like you're in space. And if you have the chance, see it in IMAX 3D. This is the type of visual spectacle that demands to be seen on the largest screen possible. People talk reverently about when they saw visual masterpieces like Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Titanic, or Avatar on the big screen. In a decade's time, people will be saying the same things about Gravity. Gravity gets 5 stars out of 5. For Ignite Entertainment, I'm Chris Lucker. Now let's take a look at what's happening on and around campus.
I'm Adam Steinberg. Here's what's happening around Mohawk College this week. The Hamilton Philharmonic is coming to the Copps Coliseum on October 19th. David Martin and Larry Larson will be playing some of the most favorited classic songs, including What's New, Pussycat and Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. Doors open at 7:30 and tickets are now on sale, ranging from $12 to $85. Mark the 29th of October in your calendar and come check out Psychic Dan in the Arnie. Known as Canada's Psychotic Psychic, Dan has been ranked as the #2 psychic in Canada and has been working in the paranormal since 1969. The event is completely free and is running between 11 and 2 p.m. On October 12th, the Hamilton Bulls will be taking on the Grand Rapid Griffins at the Copps Coliseum. The puck hits the ice at 7, and tickets are now on sale ranging from $25 to $35. That's all for your community calendar. Now back to the desk.
And that's it for entertainment. Let's check in with Megan for your weather update.
Thanks, Chris. Looking at today's weather forecast, Windsor will be mainly sunny with a high of 21 degrees. London will also be mainly sunny with a high of 20. Niagara Falls will see few clouds with a high of 19 degrees. Toronto will see similar skies with a high of 20, and the fog is expected to clear up here in Hamilton with sunny skies and a high of 19 degrees. Looking ahead to the next 24 hours in Hamilton, this evening will be clear skies at a high of 11 degrees, and overnight the temperature will drop only a couple degrees to 9, and skies will remain clear leading into tomorrow morning. The temperature will sit at 9 degrees, but the sun will be shining. Taking a look into the 5-day forecast, you will already be thankful for your Thanksgiving weekend weather. Friday will be a sunny one with a high of 18 and a low of 9, and Saturday will see some clouds but will be just as nice with a high of 19 and a low of 10. Sunday will have similar temperatures, but there is a 30% chance of isolated showers. Monday will bring the perfect fall weather for your Thanksgiving dinner, and with a high of 16 and a low of 10. Tuesday will remain a bit cooler at a high of 16 with partial clouds. That's all for your weather update. Let's go back to the desk with Scott and Alicia.
That's all your Ignite News for today. For more news coverage, you can always go on our website at ignitenews.ca or follow us on Twitter at Ignite Online. I'm Scott Summerhays.
And I'm Alicia Gallant. Thanks for watching, Mohawk.